in the hijacked planes of 911 was a young girl she was only 2 years old, and she was looking forward to her first trip to Disneyland. And she was one of those that was a martyr for America to come together. I and my wife has a child in glory in heaven right now that would have been 11 years old today. No, not today, but 11 years old. When I say today, I mean in this general time and space. And there's not a day or a week that does not go by that I call out, or my wife and I, we just say, thank you, Jesus, for allowing us to have Victoria, which is her name, and we will see her again. And it's like giving tribute. It's how you get through the day. It's how you get through tragedy. I'm sure the parents of this young girl, this Christine Hansen is her name, which was on flight 175. I'm sure the parents and the nation should keep this young girl and her parents, those who are still alive and moving on this earth. I guarantee you their faith in God, or their trust in God, or their solidarity, or their patriotisms, if it has not waned, unless they've been further attacked by mental abuse and other demonic oppressions and depressions, they still believe that on this day they're mourning right now. And so, in a little sense, I as a light man am doing the same. There were 2,000 children lost parents. More than 2,000 children lost their parents from the attacks, and over 146 children lost their parents in the Pentagon. The oldest passenger to perish in the attacks was Robert Norton. He was 82 years old. And the towers of 911 that failed were one square acre, one square acre, literally. That's how big. I mean, the property that I'm sitting on here at the moment is a half acre, and so twice as big as the property that I sit on right now was 1 square acre, and the whole buildings themselves had their own zip code. 50,000 people could work at that building, and if it had been if the towers had God's providence, I believe, had His hand on that, and I believe that it would have been 10 times the tragedy if it had been 30 to 1 hour more. A little later, it happened early enough where people were still reporting. They were still coming to work. And 14,000, it would have been worse, because I believe in the facts here that 14,000 people got out of the building. From the 110th floor, they were able to bypass through the stairwells. Those that had the mind to get out of there, unless those who were not instantly cremated because of the attacks of the burnings of the jet fuel, they had stairwells that they actually climbed down. 14,000 made it out before the towers fell. Could have been a whole lot worse, because people were still on their way, still in transit onto those buildings. So here I'm just saying to you that the buildings crashed with such violence, it almost got to 0.3 or 3, on the Richter scale was 3 points on the Richter scale. That's how much power and weight. When those buildings came down, they came down with a thud so much that it moved the earth. And in New York's Columbia University, the seismographs was able to move, and they saw that, whoa, between 2 and 3 on the Richter scale, those violence hit the ground with such thud. And like I said, that's how the shoes were literally knocked off the victims. As the towers begin to crumble, you see a rainbow, it looked like clouds of fire, and going out in 4 different directions as those buildings fell. 15 million square feet of office space came down the day at the World Trade Centers. 3 times the amount of space that was at the Sears Tower and 50,000 people were, as I said, were employed at those towers, and they came from 26 countries, and they all called those two towers the office. So like I said again, it was not just an attack on America, it was an attack upon the world. WTC, the World Trade Center. See, evil took those buildings down, but it was the love and the holiness of God in us for 30 days, however long it lasted, the closeness of coming together. It brought us together like never before. And we spoke with one voice, with one cry, and with one kind of prayer. Is, Lord, help us. He did. He's still helping us. But our spirit and our solidarity is waning. We're becoming more of a barbaric type of nation now. And what are we doing about it? Do you know, are you changing for the better? Spiritually? We'll be back in a few moments. We'll talk some more about the tribute to this 9/11 celebration and tragedy.